All right, hey guys, here we are, hole number 3. Let's take a first look at this. It's a little tiny on the wind. I like it to be just a little bit up. It would be easier for me to show you this shot with a little bit more wind. And of course, I don't have the extra mile to get the extra wind. Hopefully this is enough. I'm not sure if it is. So I'm thinking right around 4 on the top spin. This is almost as small as a wind as I could have got. So just, as a warning to you guys, chances are you'll have a little bit more wind than this. I do think it might just be enough. I guess we'll see. So I'm going to go about 1 full target over on my aim. Let's just see if this carries just far enough with the 5.3. Yep, it looks still okay. Yep. So we are still good. You can see we can get this down here as far as possible. Even if we do end up clipping the rough up there, not the end of the world, but also do keep in mind I did come off a full topspin. I knew that it was going to have some momentum to get down there. One of the things that you might have to be a little bit worried of is if you do have to get up towards that 7.5 mile per hour, you may end up going too long. So that's something to consider as well. So you may have to go into like the light red at times, as opposed to, the full throttle. About 6.3 is probably going to be ideal for your wind, I would imagine. But as you can see, a good opportunity there to get the ball down here far. You'll want to avoid clipping that rough. Clipping that rough is going to make it much tougher for you to get there in 2, especially if you stay in the rough like that one did. It's going to be very tough to get your eagle. Here you can see, well, we are well within range here. Sniper 8. And I'm thinking something like this, more or less. I'll typically go maybe just a shade under 6 rings here. .7 or so. Perfect ball. Also note that I might have tilted the wind just at a slight angle. The biggest reason that I was tight, I wasn't dead straight with my wind, I was pulling to higher ground, so I knew the ball would launch. So if I pulled at an exact straight downward pointing needle there, it would have ended up coming in too hot. So what I did to counteract that is I pulled at a slight angle. So I pulled at, basically you could see that the wind was rotated slightly more, so I was pulling more back towards the tee box to make sure that I account for pulling to higher elevation, which causes the ball to land long. So you have to know kind of the nuances about this game, that it's just going to happen. And, the more you practice with that and understand when you pull up, especially when you're pulling to considerably higher ground. Like that was a perfect example of one where the elevation is just so much more higher than where you started that it's definitely going to be a significant impact on your shot. So keep that tip in mind, and you'll want to be thinking about that for every round that you play this hole. You have to be thinking that that's going to happen. So good luck with that hole, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next